There was some very small variation, like goblins were slightly different than other breeders, but it was a tiny difference. In this version, I want each monster to feel unique. There's still kind of those broad categories, but each one should be a lot more different. So to that end, each of these cards, and I'll hold one up so you can see it. The kobolds are a really good example. It has a life cycle, hopefully the camera can focus on that, which is a series of things which they always do or can do in order to carry out their turn, basically. Yes, Umber Hulks. Awesome. So we'll start with the Umber Hulk, since the Umber Hulk came first. So the Umber Hulk always, at the beginning of its turn, hunts, which means it basically preys upon some nearby monster group. The Orcs are the nearest, and I think they're close enough that we'll just draw in that tunnel that it can immediately hunt, and some Orcs are killed. Then, if the Umber Hulk can't hunt, he relocates to a new home, but he can hunt. That's his second step. And then finally, he has an option to form an alliance with a magical creature. Each of these creatures has a little list of their characteristics. The kobolds are evil, chaotic, nuisance humanoids, for example. For example, the Umber Hulk is a merciless, confusing alpha predator. None of these are magical, so there's no one that the Umber Hulk can form an alliance with. And then since that's his only option, he doesn't do anything. I'm going to make a note on this that maybe he could use more options. I don't have any obvious ones right now. And this is how playtesting works. So if anyone can think of a thing that the Umber Hulk might do other than form an alliance with other magical creatures, let me know in the chat. Yeah, I never played much Zelda. Consoles were not a thing I had access to, and I'm very sad because a lot of those references I only vaguely get. So now, oop, okay. So now the kobolds. The first thing that kobolds do is they scout. When a creature scouts, they simply expand their territory to include adjacent areas. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to actually use a different color for each of these monster groups. So when a monster group scouts, it explores a little distance in each direction. That's not dark enough. Let's find something better. This is good. We'll use this orange. So essentially, the kobolds discover these adjacent rooms. Put a little orange there just so it's clear this is all kobold territory. There's nothing there, so that doesn't have much effect, but if there was treasure there, they could find the treasure there. If there was monsters there, they could try and steal from them, that sort of thing. Second, if the kobolds have no bonus marker, they hatch plans, because kobolds are notorious tricksters and trappers. So I'm just going to make some more bonus markers here by chopping up this plastic coin. That gives them a bonus marker for future use. Then they may breed, steal from richer monsters, or bribe stronger monsters. They have no neighbors to interact with at this time, so they will breed. More kobolds come and move into these rooms that they recently discovered. Finally, the orcs. So, orcs always pick a fight with someone if they have a neighbor. With wealthy neighbors, they attempt to extort them. With less numerous neighbors, they fight them. Fighting or extorting from the Umber Hulk is pretty much a toss-up, so we're going to go for extort. So this is a conflict. When we have a conflict, we roll some dice. Get a dice for the Umber Hulk. I don't seem to have a red one for the orcs. Use a purple one. And then we're just going to roll dice, and one of these groups is going to win this conflict. The Umber Hulk has his bonus marker, so he gets +1 to the roll. So the Umber Hulk got a 4, and the Orcs got a 5. So the Orcs won that. The Umber Hulk's bonus is used up, and the Umber Hulk is killed. Sorry, Umber Hulk. I did that wrong, didn't I? Alpha predators add 2 to conflict rolls. That is an important rule. So the Umber Hulk rolled a 6 and the Orcs rolled a 5. So I'm going to roll that all back. He still loses his bonus, which is expended, but instead, an Orc is killed. And that is 1 year of the monster era. Now, each year that the monster era continues, a new monster group arrives. So this gets wackier and wackier the longer we go. And the next monster group to arrive is going to be a purple worm. That is a favorite of mine. So the purple worm will come in area number 1 on the surface. I don't think that's going to go so well for the Orcs, but so here's a purple worm. When he arrives, he immediately takes a turn. So let's see what purple worms do. Purple worms always relocate near abundant food. So I'm still going to make that count as the Orcs because they're sort of the best food source. So when the purple worm relocates, he digs a tunnel to get closer to his chosen prey. Then if he is near water, he may breed and create a new purple worm, but there's no water here. And then finally, he has one option, which is hunt. The purple worm, like the Umber Hulk, needs more options. I haven't decided yet what those can be, so if you can think of a cool thing for purple worms to do, I'd appreciate that. So he hunts, so he kills an orc. The orcs are having a tough time of it. Now, we're going to shuffle these 3 together, and these guys are going to take, these monster groups are going to take their turns. Oh, DM Starhelm, I misread your comment. You said you love how they look like the evil Koroks from The Legend of Zelda. That's cool. I don't even know what the Koroks look like, so I'm glad my picture looks. I love drawing the Cobalts. By the way, actually, they're hilarious. So the Orcs will go first, the Umber Hulk will go second, and the Cobalts will go third. That could be good or bad for the Orcs because they're so belligerent. They're always fighting someone or trying to extort from them. So I think fighting is a bad idea when their numbers are so low, so they're going to try and extort from the Umber Hulk. So nice treasure. You got their Umber Hulk. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. So the Umber Hulk gets +2 to his roll because he's an alpha predator. The Orcs get no bonus. But the Orcs blow him away. So the Orcs take the Umber Hulk's treasure. Then the Orcs have a number of options. They may breed, explore in hopes of finding other people to mess with. They may form an alliance with an alpha predator, or they may build defenses. Those are all pretty good options. Defenses give them a one-time bonus against being attacked. They've got 2 big alpha predators next to them right now, so that's pretty risky. Forming an alliance with one would also be useful. I think they're going to try and form an alliance. So we just use the same dice mechanic, only this is not a fight, so the alpha predator doesn't get a bonus. I think they're going to try and form an alliance with that Umber Hulk that they just extorted from. All right, here we go. Umber Hulk is the green die. And they failed to form the alliance. This has no cost to them, but it does leave them vulnerable to being hunted. Yeah, if you could tweet a picture of a Korok, that would be cool. In fact, I can open up Twitter right now and see it in real time. If you happen to do that. Or do it later, that's fine too. I am curious to see what they look like. All right, so the Umber Hulk. Umber Hulk always hunts. Hunters cannot hunt other alpha predators. Alpha predators, they have to fight in a different way. They usually will try and drive each other out of territory. And the Umber Hulk has only one neighbor, so Orcs are wiped out. The Umber Hulk gathers their sweet, tasty treasure to itself and revels in its mightiness. And now the Cobalts. They scout. Exploring these new chambers and finding new ways to go. They already have a bonus marker, so they can't hatch any additional plans. They have no neighbors to steal from or bribe, so they will breed. And finally, the purple worms. So purple worms, they are wandering creatures. They don't stay in one place very long. So he's going to wander away and relocate looking for other prey. So when we relocate, the distance they can go is like the length of your finger approximately, so like say 2 to 3 inches. So I think he's going to tunnel down through this great hall, making some wreckage of the dwarves' ancient buildings, and move down in the direction of the kobolds. And we'll see what happens with them on the next turn. So a couple of game design things here that I want to talk about. One is the orcs were really handily defeated by the Umber Hulk and the Purple Worm. Now that's just some bad luck. There's nothing wrong with the orcs being defeated when 2 alpha predators gang up on them. But one thing I've gone back and forth with is whether or not monster groups should get a bonus to their dice based on their population. So in that case, the orcs, when they had 3 and 2 population, would get a +3 and a +2 to the dice. The alpha predators always get +2 straight up, so they don't count their population. That kind of balances it out a little bit. That's something I'm playing with for now. I'm leaving the monster groups as weaker. I'm not giving them a population bonus because I'm afraid that big groups will kind of run away with the game and become too powerful. But if I play this today and monster groups are just getting wiped out right and left, then that's something that I'll probably have to change. All right, and that's a full turn. So it's time for a new monster group to show up. Any requests? And while you think about that, I'm just going to get a glass of water. Be back in 1 minute. Oh, Zach requested an owl bear. I do not have owl bears yet. I apologize for that. It's a gross lack. They will come. They will come. All right. Our new monster is an ogre. We're heavy on the alpha predators here. So, an ogre moves into the dungeon. He arrives in area number 2, right in the center of the action. So this is a thing that happens sometimes. Everything jams into the middle. If I wanted to, I could just have the ogre arrive somewhere else. I mean, this is a solo game, right? It's not cheating to run the game the way that you want, but I'm going to have him arrive in area number 2. I'm going to just have him say this ogre on the run from civilization digs down into this cave here on the outskirts. Ogres start with no treasure, the poor fellows. The first thing that ogres do is they hunt. If there's nothing to hunt, they relocate